Hey YouTube, Snazzy here, this time with a Machamp deck. We're focusing mainly on the second attack, Crazy Hammer. For 2 fighting and a colorless, we're going to do 80. If we have a special condition, we're going to do 80 more and get rid of that special condition. In addition, we have the Steaming Mad attack, 20 times the number of damage counters already on Machamp, 180 HP, so you can throw a focus sash on it. If it is going to get one shot, you can do 340, knock anything out, and then you're going to make yourself confused. But that's a rarely done attack, and that would likely end the game anyways. So we're going to run 3 of these Machamp, and in order to get that Crazy Hammer the boost it needs, we're going to run a 2/2 line of Ariados. So 2 Spinarak, and here is Ariados with Poisonous Nest. Once per turn, we can poison both actives. So I poison your active, then I can do Crazy Hammer for at least 160 with a strong energy, or muscle band's gonna be 180. But if it's 170 HP EX, we can knock it out between Crazy Hammer and the poison as well. And then of course we won't leave any poison on us because Crazy Hammer gets rid of the poisoning. Now we can't just run just Machamp and Ariados, so we are going to run 2 Lucario EX just because it is a cheap and strong attacker, just outright powerful with its signature 3 attacks, all for fighting. You can put strong energy on it. You can very easily stack up damage with Lucario. And then a staple in a lot of decks, we're going to run Hawlucha with its Flying Press for 60 for 1 on any EX, and featuring the Zero Retreat. Always makes a great Pokemon to bring up and then free retreat after a Pokemon is knocked out. It's a cheap attacker, works really well with any muscle bands or focus sashes. Really helps you win the prize war. And we're going to run 2 Baby Lando with its Shout of Power for 20. Get a basic energy back from your discard and put it on one of your benched Pokemon. We're going to run 2 of those, just for support. It also has a fairly cheap retreat cost. Now in this deck we have a very heavy item line. So we're going to start it off with 4 VS Seekers. That's right, 4 VS Seekers. We're going to run 2 Professor's Letters. We're going to run 3 Chainer's Mail. We're also going to run 3 Level Ball. This is because we want to see, we want to get our Hawluchas out. We want turn 2 or turn 3 Ariados consistently every single time, because we're likely going to have Machamp or Lucario out. So 3 Level Balls really has helped this deck a lot. You can also just burn them just to thin out the deck, which I've done sometimes. 2 Crushing Hammer, just because 3 energy, even if you start doing Shouts of Power after discarding some energy, you're going to have a turn 2 or turn 3 Machamp anyway. That just helps to slow down your opponent just a turn. And we run just 1 Enhanced Hammer. It has been helpful. I know it's a little weird to just run 1, but it has been fairly helpful, especially in mirror matches. We're going to run 2 Focus Sash for the Hawluchas, sometimes for the Baby Landorus, sometimes even for the Machamp. And we're going to run 3 Muscle Band just to make our Lucarios, our Hawluchas, And our baby Lando's that much stronger. And I guess you can put it on Machamp too, but rarely needs it. And then just one Starling Megaphone. It's my personal opinion that any deck that has room for it should try to incorporate just one of these. Because, I mean, if you're playing this deck, you can get rid of a Focus Sash. It's just a very strong card. Alright, so what would a deck based around fighting Pokemon be without Korrina? Grab a fighting Pokemon and an item. All these items, all these fighting Pokemon. It makes sense to run 3 of these and 4 Versus Seekers. I will willingly play Korrina every single turn. But if I don't have that, I will play one of my 3 Professor Sycamores or my Steven to get out Korrina or Professor Sycamore. A lot of the time in this deck, you just need an energy and a good supporter for the next turn just to keep going. Sometimes you just need 1 energy for Hawlucha, or 1 more energy for Lucario, or 1 more energy for Machamp. It's a very good fit in this deck. We're going to run 1 Ace Trainer, just if we're losing. It's a good one of. Going to run 1 Hex Maniac. You can always do Poisonous Nest before you play Hex Maniac. You can stop Hawlucha's ability so that it hits for weakness. And then you can stop any of your opponent's abilities. A lot of the time for Vileplume, that is another reason we run 4 VS Seeker. We want to be able to play the Hex Maniac and then VS Seeker it. That way we can really ignore the Vileplume threat. And then just 2 Lysander, just because of our ability to OHKO. We really want to be able to take out that Pokemon that your opponent's been setting up for 2 or 3 turns. So that's our supporter line. On to stadiums. We run a very weird stadium count. We actually run 5 stadiums, 5 total stadiums, 3 different stadiums. So here we go. We have 2 fighting stadium, just raw power against your opponent's EX. We're never going to attack with Ariados. We don't even run a grass. So against any of our opponent's EX, our fighting Pokemon are going to do 20 more damage. We run 2 Silent Lab. Now, Silent Lab will shut down the Shining Spirit on Hawlucha, which means it will hit for both weakness and resistance. That's a double-edged sword, so it's sort of played as need be, but it's also more so to shut down any of the abilities your opponent might be relying on. Admittedly, without Keldeo in the format anymore, it's not as strong of a stadium, but I still think it's a great stadium, and it really helps us win the stadium war, because we already have 4 out and we have 1 more. We have a Faded Town. Now, because of Machamp's ability to consistently do 180, maybe 200, it doesn't take out the mega threat. It doesn't hit for that 220, 240. Playing that Faded Town, just one of them, having up for even a turn or 2, will really shut down your opponent's Mega Pokemon and bring them down into Machamp's killing range. And then Energy, we are just going to, of course, run 4 strong Energy, increase the attacks of your fighting Pokemon by 20 damage. And then just 6 basic fighting energy. That's why, once again, 2 Professor's Letter, 10 energy total. It's worked very well thus far, and we'll get back to you as we do some more play testing. So if you like this video, like and subscribe. We'll definitely be back with some more videos. If you have suggestions, leave them down below in the comment section. And until next time, YouTube.